Please welcome Dr. Karl.
Great to see you, Dr. Karl. Science, comedy, what sort of makes you want to put that in a petri dish as an experiment and put it on stage?
They like to work hard, so they're scientists. They spend 5 years doing something that most people can't understand. Then they give themselves a job of explaining it in 3 minutes and making you laugh at the same time. Hard work, but they're up for it.
Do they succeed?
Time after time, I just was pissing myself laughing. They were very funny.
You know, you can say that word loudly.
In Australia?
Yes, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. OK, so you mentioned it's hard work, because what I heard was that the scientists had to do some, you know, comedy preparations, comedy training before this. What does comedy training involve?
Well, I taught them some presentation skills, and I'm not particularly good at it, but I
think you're all right, Dr. Karl.
You've done all right.
But like, it's like training somebody for tennis. You might not get them to Wimbledon, but they'd be a lot better than they were. And then secondly, I've advised them to go and spend $500 on a 3-day comedy course where they do things like the rule of threes. So when you come into a pub, there's always 3 people, there's never 2. So first person, you set it up, second person, build the tension, third person, resolve it, next joke. And then the second, another thing I learned from the comedy show was, I think you might have been there, was the concept of the callback. So you tell a funny joke at the front and they laugh at that, and then you refer to it obliquely, just a little bit, and they laugh, and that lifts up the mood. And then and the third thing is you've got to handle the audience. So a small audience under 80 you find difficult to fire, but an audience up to a couple of hundred, that's different from 500,000, and they teach you this stuff. So everybody should do it.
Dr. Karl, I cannot let you give away all comedian secrets.
That was it. No more.
But I do want to... I hear that you've brought some drunk science for us, which also involves Sarah Harris on some level.
Hey!
Well, OK, so it goes like this. If you have a mixer drink, like a rum and cola, the diet drink will get you 1.5 times as drunk as the regular one. Rum and regular cola, rum and ordinary sugared cola. So what happens is it turns out that your stomach, this organ here, mushes up the food, and then it releases it into the small intestine, where it's absorbed, at the rate of not so many mils per minute, but calories. I had no idea. So about 2 to 3 calories a minute. So if you're having a diet drink, it's got not many calories. It's only got the calories of the alcohol. So, and then it goes through into your stomach, into your small intestine quickly, and it spikes up and goes down. And then if you're having the regular drink, you know, like with sugar, then there's more calories and it takes longer to go through. And
I should say that the reason this is relevant to Sarah is because she likes Diet Coke, not because
I don't mind the odd Bundy rum, but, you know.
You end up in a terrible situation where you've got 2 identical twins who have been living the same life all for their whole lives, and then they go to a party and one has a couple of rum and diet colas. And they're
trying to do the right thing, obviously.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So they have the rum and regular colas, so their blood alcohol doesn't go as high. They get pulled over by the cops. Their blood alcohol is fine, they go home. But the one who had the same amount of alcohol but had in a rum and diet cola, they go over the limit. They get busted by the cops, quite rightly, for being over the limit. There's a bit of a miscarriage of justice. They end up in jail serving time with a very large, hairy man who has love and hate tattooed on their lung. And then end up joining the Hells Angels, because that guy's...
Just because you like Diet Coke, Sarah.
And then ends up outside your niece's or nephew's primary school selling them methamphetamines from the back of his Harley Davidson because you did not know that diet drinks get you drunker. It's your fault.
I'm switching to full sugar from tomorrow. Is it also true that some animals make better drunks than other animals? And who's getting these animals drunk?
Who's getting them drunk? Texan scientists in the 1950s trying to find out why some people could have a lot of alcohol and not feel it, and other people could not. And it turned out to be something called alcohol dehydrogenase, which is a chemical that you break down. And so it turns out that the king of drinking alcohol is the hamster. And so you can feed a hamster, a little thing like
Why
this.
they run around the wheel so much?
Okay, so you've got a little hamster this big, right? You can feed it the human equivalent of 1.5 litres of pure alcohol or 3 litres for a human of vodka, and they don't show any effect. How do you measure effect? Well, the scientists have what they fondly call the wobbling scale, which ranges from 0, where you don't wobble at all, 1, 2, 3, 4, up at 4, you wobble, you fall over and you can't get up again. And the hamsters do not wobble at all when you just pour them huge amounts of alcohol, and that's because they've got very large amounts of alcohol dehydrogenase, but if you inject it into their bloodstream, they go straight to their brain and they fall over.
And they don't drink Diet Coke. It's called the Steam Room at the Sydney Comedy Festival. Head to our website for details. Would you please thank the wonderful Dr. Karl?